Hey, everybody, welcome into the building. Okay, I'm happy to see y'all here. Happy Tuesday. And y'all know what Tuesday is over here at the Gray Tribe, right? Tuesday we recap Love and Marriage Huntsville. And let me tell you something. The Scott brothers, they a piece of work. They a piece of work. I want to sit down and talk to the mama, the daddy. We need to know who is responsible for these darn Scott brothers. Cause good gosh, and we thought Maurice was bad. I mean, not Maurice, Marcel was bad. Well, honey, Maurice is right there next to him. They tread in the water right next to each other. They messy. They real messy, okay? Now let me say this too. It looks like we're gonna have to recap this Love and Marriage Detroit. They trying to keep Diva busy over here. Cause honey, I don't know if y'all got to see that. Love and Marriage Detroit, they trying to give us the business right out the gate. Lot of cute young couples. But honey, they got some stuff going on with over there with them too. We're going to have to recap Love and Marriage Detroit. I got to figure out when we're going to fit that in the schedule. But we're going to have to fit Love and Marriage Detroit in the schedule. Now, before I get into this recap, I have one more thing to add. You know what? A lot of people reach out to me and, ask me to add their book to the book club. And child, listen, the best way for me to add your book to the book club is if it's on Audible. Now, I will try to get to it when I got to actually read it, but it's hard for me because I'm super busy. But I'm backed up with books. I have some more books that I've been had that I need to get back to and read those. But I was compelled to read this young man's book, and I'm going to call him Sims because I don't want to botch up his first name. And it's called Free Like Me, Surviving Addiction. After we finish the one, we're going to squeeze him in there somehow in the book club because this young man has a story to tell. And I'm telling you, you can't be the faint of heart if you come to this book club session because it's a lot going on. Now, that's the book right there. I will put everything like in the description, or maybe I'll put it on the community page. But this man got a story. All I'm going to tell you is a little bit. I will say this. In the music industry, dabbed in the music industry a little bit, has his college metallurgy certificate, I want to say. Struggled with coming out with his sexuality initially. It's a lot. Had a girlfriend, a baby, and was struggling, in between two worlds. But what I appreciate about him is his honesty. His honesty with everything he went through with the drugs, the alcohol, all of that. In his honesty by saying, listen, I was with this woman. I was playing both sides of the fence and I was wrong. Secrets will keep you sick. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll put radiance. I will put it on the community page because we're going to talk to him. He's actually going to come in the building and talk to us. And like I said, you can't be the faint of heart because this man is telling his authentic truth. And it's a lot. Now, I read a lot, but I'm sitting there like, woo, it's a lot. But we're going to talk about it because that's what we do over here at the Great Tribe. We talk about things. We don't catch feelings. We leave our feelings on it or at the train stop, okay? At the station. When we get on the train, you don't catch no feelings, all right? So tonight is Love and Marriage Huntsville recap, and they call it We Got a Monster Issue. Let me tell you something. We have said this before, and I know that because I want to say Monster's about to turn 16. So he's probably had this nickname his whole life. But you know what I want them to do? I want them to abandon this nickname. I do not like it at all. I don't like it. And he is a very handsome gentleman, young man, good looking. He seems very well mannered, even though they want to act like he's just out wilding out because he don't want to wash dishes. You show me the teenager that want to clean his room, cut the grass, rake the leaves without you saying it 20 times and cleans his room and washes his clothes. And I want them parents to come raise me too. Let me start all over. All teenagers, they messy. You have to call them and talk to them 20,000 times. Be like, did you hear me? Come down here. I'm talking to you. About to cut that cell phone off and cut off all the electricity in just your room. Playing with me. Told you to take out this garbage. But anyway, we're going to talk about them. Stormi? Who? But you know what? I go in and out of liking Courtney. And I'm back in. I like Courtney. And I think Stormi and Courtney, they're a good couple together. But we're going to talk about it, okay? And Auntie Lisa, honey, she a piece of work. She ain't here for the shenanigans, okay? Going to talk about things. Mama Betty? Well, where did they find Mama Betty at? And listen, I know y'all going to be like, oh, Martell. But you know what? People can have some good qualities and bad qualities, and we got to give it up. Martell does have some good qualities in him. He may be messed up as a boyfriend. He may be messed up as a husband. But there are some redeeming qualities in the man. And I said, you know what? He can be saved. All right, so it was Martell, Kimmi, and Maurice. And you know what? We ain't going to fight y'all, but we're going to tell the truth about Kimmi. Now, God bless Kimmi for going through the chemo and surviving and all that. But Kimmi is a messy bonus parent. Now, we got to tell the truth and shame the devil over here. You're not going to convince me otherwise. She's a messy bonus parent. She's messy. But we'll get into it. So y'all know what I need, because I done talked a lot already. Y'all know what I need in this chat. Come on, Clea. You can always come through for me. Come on now, Tag. Come on now, people. I love y'all. Y'all know what I need. I need a what? A choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. We're about to board this train so we can talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're doing this recap. And remember, when I bring you in the building, stand your ground. Stand your ground, because I'm going to stand mine. Okay? And don't catch no feelings, or you're going to have to get kicked off the train. Are you ready, y'all? I'm about to board this train. Come on now. We need a what? A choo-choo. Now, listen. Y'all know we got a monthly ticket holder in here. She is. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Diva.
Hey. You know Royer, people from Royer's World. Hey, Royer.
It's going to be a rough night tonight, so be ready.
Face to the 10th degree in my voice.
We trying to come in and puff his chest. All right, let me sit up in my chair, okay? I won't be getting pumped tonight. Come on now. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Dustin. Okay.
Number 3 for 2.
That's what I'm talking about, Dustin, okay? Dustin is
I'm number 5.
The train stop first. He said he got ticket number 3. Are y'all hopping this train? Are y'all getting your ticket? Hit that like button. Hey, Dustin, thanks for being here.
Always here. I love you.
Hey now. Hey.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Robin. Hey, Royer. Hey, Dustin. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, the Dawn.
Oh, no, the Dawn.
Yeah, y'all thought I went off the other week. It's gonna be some
You're
smoke
the
tonight.
Mr. Don. I see you.
Come on. Hey, Emmanuel.
Hey, Diva.
Hey,
I'm ready to
Emmanuel.
stand my ground.
Oh, you want to stand your ground? Well, you better.
Boy, it's going to be a rough train ride tonight, Diva.
It's going to be a train ride tonight. We about to get into it.
I have a question for Diva real quick.
I love it.
Yes, Dustin.
What night are you gonna cover the Love and Marriage?
I gotta figure it out, because they giving the business over there in Detroit too. Okay, they
Did you
came
watch
out
it?
the door popping. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yes, I did. I watched it. They came out the door popping. Get caught up. We're gonna have to get into that story with them. We gotta take it easy, because I still gotta get to know the names and the people and the characters. But it's a good story, and they all good looking people over there. I like it, and they young too, so they ready for the smoke. Okay, so now let's get into this. So hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry about that. Let me just turn this off, because we got to talk. Okay, so we start out, and Stormi's still at her house. She trying to deal with Aunt Lisa, her mama Betty, and Junior. Well, guess what? The beginning and the end of the story is Aunt Lisa ain't having it. Okay, nope. She says she good. Your mama is your mama, and Miss Betty is Miss Betty, and you know what? She said, I'm good. Now let's get into this scene with Martell. You know what? You got to give it to Martell. He went to therapy. Okay, he went over there to the therapist. Okay, and he said,
Hallelujah for that.
Don't do that. Don't start over here. He went over there to the therapist and he said, I'm unbalanced. I'm not balanced right now. I got a lot going on. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm here to work on me. That's what he said. He said, his father, his father wasn't in his life, really. His father was locked up for 20 years. He saw his father for 1 second. And now she said, where's your father? He said, somewhere out there in Huntsville. Okay. And that's why when a father is being a father, we got to give a shout out to the fathers that stayed. Shout out to the fathers that cared about fathering their kids. And shout out to the fathers that fathered somebody else's kid. We got to give it up to them. Why? Because here, Martell, his dad was in jail for all them years. He gets out of jail and he's still not checking for his son. So shame on his father. But this is where I'm going to give it. Hold on, everybody. This is where I'm going to give it to Martell because he said, you know what? I'm not going to cop out. I'm not going to say I messed up because my father wasn't in my life. I'm not going to do that. That's what he said, right? He said, I'm not going to blame this on my mother. I am who I am because of me. All right. I'm not about to cop out. And he talked about, having a younger brother. And the younger brother did some time too, but we get to that when we get to that. So he's owning it. In the name of Lisa Renner, he's owning it. He's owning his own mess. He's sitting there in therapy. He's trying to do like Iyanla Vanzant said, do the work. So he was sitting on the couch doing the work. And for that, I'm going to need y'all to give it up for Martell. He's doing the work, okay? We'll get around and we'll talk about it. I like what you were. And then, we'll work with those two scenes really quick because it seems like you really got something to say about this, Royer, even though I'm not going to come to you first. So, but let's see, you got something about this therapy and Martell. Robin, we'll start with you. Hold on, Dustin. We'll start with you. Go ahead, Robin. What do you think about Martell putting in the work? He's sitting at the therapist, putting his everything on the line.
Well, I just want you to know that tonight I really am going to reserve most of my smoke for Maurice. I just want to go on record. The one thing about going to therapy that I thought was interesting was that Martell believed that I think that he revealed that Melody is not such a horrible mom because she knew enough to put her children in therapy. The other thing I'd be interested in exploring is when he spoke about his problem with the babysitter and the issues that arose. And I was like, oh, like he was mad because at the babysitter, whoever that is, and cussed them out, mad at his mother because she wasn't available. And then he talked about their transactional relationships, which I thought was real interesting. If she don't do this for me, blah, blah, that kind of thing. And I thought it was also just hilarious that he didn't have another, he don't have 14 babysitters for backup. And did he call Mel to help him out? But like I said, I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm saving it all for my boy Maurice.
Save it, honey, because we're gonna have an over the conversation at that point. Royer, what do you think about Martell sitting on the couch, putting it all on the line? He said, I'm not balanced right now. What are your thoughts?
I'm normally one to always give Martell some props and to, be positive about the situation. But, this isn't the first time we've seen Martell in a therapist's office, attempting to do some work. And, like you said, Diva, it's actually doing the work. Going to an office and having a conversation, that's one thing. But when there's no fruit of the labor, of the work that you so-called are doing, that's a problem for me. And, this is our third or fourth time at therapy sessions, and we see, on the show, it seems like he's doing well, but in reality, it varies back and forth for me. So we'll see that if this work this time actually bears some fruit. We're going to find out. But I thought it was very well that he's trying again. Maybe Dr. Francis, is that who it was, Dr. Francis? Maybe Dr. Francis wasn't the right one. It's not always the first therapist that works. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Right, you got to keep searching till you find the right therapist. Carrie, what do you think? Martell?
Oh, and then on Stormy Mama, real quick. I'm sorry, Stormy Mama. What you mean? How you gonna walk away, hug somebody that's walking away? You go walking behind them to try to fix the situation that you messed up. That's how you do it.
You are correct. She's a mess. Miss Betty is a mess. Okay. Hey, everybody, we see y'all out there. Carrie, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Roy. I mean, I know for a fact, personally speaking, with therapy and with just other members of my family and friends, it's a lot of work, and I don't think people realize the work that it takes. That's on your end. The therapist can only give you tools, but you're the therapist can't fix you. You have to do the majority of the work. And that's a lot. So we can judge, we can sit back and judge what we see, but it is a lot of work to unlearn, undo, and make a conscious effort to be a different person every single day. Because every day you have to get up and you have to wake up and say, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna be something different, I'm gonna react different. And that takes a lot of focus, concentration, willpower, all of that. So I'm like, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not judging. We'll see.
I hear you. I hear you. Dustin, what are your thoughts? Martell's trying to go for therapy. So far, all the panelists are like, whatever. How are you feeling?
I'm glad he's going to therapy. I can kind of relate with him because I already told you about I didn't have my father didn't want nothing to do with me, so I can kind of relate with that situation.
Right.
And I hope that he's going to get better because I think he's going to stay with this therapist here, and he's going to continue getting better. And I applaud Marcel for going to therapy like he is in this episode. I really do. I hope it continues on, and I hope it gets better for him.
I appreciate that. You got a heart. You have a heart. Okay. We're missing E, but you have a heart for Martell. Thank you, Dustin. In my opinion, how are you feeling? The brother is trying to go to therapy. What are your thoughts?
Okay, I'm gonna go back to Mama Betty for a minute. Okay, because I missed last week's train ride. So I don't know if y'all heard it right because I think I understood the problem that was going on with Mama Betty and the sisters. Do y'all remember when Stormi said Mama Betty was the one that had to take care of Daddy when he was dying? Nobody else was doing it. Mama Betty needs some therapy too to resolve that resentment because it is some resentment when you got other sisters and brothers that don't chip in when you have an ailing parent. So I think Mama Betty needed some therapy and they should have gave her some, and everybody should have been able to speak and say why they put all that on her. Now, as far as Martell, okay, I'm not giving nobody no grace no more on this show.
Oh.
The grace is gone. Okay. I need all of them to do the work because they all get on this TV show and they show us something totally different from what they're showing us on social media. So miss me with it. Okay. I feel like this is a scripted show all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Because their actions in real life and their actions on this TV show don't line up.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So you're not seeing consistency?
Not at all.
All right, thank you. Everybody, I'm going to need y'all to hit that like button. Some people are hopping the train. Hit the like button. All right, Dadon, what are your thoughts?
Stormi fired the wrong people.
Oh.
She should have fired that mama and hers.
Come on.
Those benefits need to run out. Yes. Yeah, I think it's time for them to go back in and see what they qualify for because they're just making it hard for her. And also that husband of hers. But we ain't talking about that right now.
Okay.
But as far as Martell, I'm gonna say I appreciate him going to the therapist. We know it's a licensed therapist and not a deaconess number 9, usher boy number 3, person that you said you're getting all this life advice from. So I appreciate that. And at least he admitted the first step is admitting.
Come on, Nadon, speak to the people.
And if we couldn't get, at first it was he this, that, and the third. He admitted some faults. So
Yes, he did.
let's give him just a little bit of credit for that.
Right.
And it's better than what I can say about some other people.
Come on now.
But they're not in the scene.
There you go. Boom. Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts?
So I'm with my opinion on this one. I think this needs to be the last season of this show because every single one of these characters is very disingenuous. I really think that they're putting up a front. I don't really think that they're showing their real business. I really think it's all what they want to put out in the show. I give Martell no credit. Words mean nothing at this point. You got to put some action behind it, and you have to actually want to change. So, no.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
Dr. Love, what are your thoughts?
Okay, this Martell and this therapist. First off, I want to know if he's court ordered. If he was court ordered to see a therapist, that would make a difference. It would make a huge difference. So I'm not sure if he was court ordered or if he did decide this is what I need. Because when a person is court ordered, oh my goodness, they have so much pushback and feel like they really don't need the therapist and they only going to do it, the amount of times that the judge said they need to and this and that. But the good thing about that is that I know if the therapist write to the judge and say he needs more time, that's the one thing people don't know. He's going to have the judge will, make him go to therapy more, or extend his time. So, and like everyone's saying, you have to want it. A therapist can't change you. That's really between you and God, for real. To say you have to really want it, and certain things about yourself, nobody can change but God. Nobody can even give you the tools to change it but God. And that's, certain things people don't see about, therapy. It's like you really have to want it to be able to really make that change. And looking at Martell and just from this show, I would say he need like a year of therapy. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Juanita, you're in the building. Nice to see you. Everybody hit that like button. What are your thoughts? Martell is in therapy and he's putting it all on the table. He's putting in the work. How are you feeling?
I meant to say hi to everybody. I'm sorry. Hey, Diva. Hey, crew. Hey, you guys.
Hey.
Juanita, are you there?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay,
yeah.
Juanita.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Everybody doing good? Good to see.
Hey.
Good to see you all. I think he do need the therapy. I think he's trying to put in the work, but he's gonna need more work. I mean, Martell's just really messed up, and I think it's good that he's getting the therapy, and maybe he'll be able to help somebody else, to prevent them from making the same mistakes that he did. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, as my pastor used to say, all of us got a little something wrong with us.
Come on now. Ain't nobody perfect, right? Everybody got
right.
That's
real.
And he's there. Court ordered or not, he's there. Because you can show up for a court ordered therapy and not really participate.
Right.
You could not really say much. You could be like, okay, I got the check mark because I was here. They can't force you to open up.
Right.
With this. So we'll give them a little credit for that. We're split down the middle with that. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next scene. Now, you know what, child, Maurice Scott. Ooh, the Scott brothers be Scotting like all the time, doing the most. So Maurice takes me out for a date night. A nice little painting, wine and sip class, and they're painting the wine glasses or whatever. So Tisa Marshall show up to the class, and they're having conversations pretty much around co-parenting with Kiuwha, and also how they do their parenting in the house. Okay, so pretty much Kimmi is saying that, I feel like Maurice is not backing me up when it comes to Monster. I tell him to do something, and then I have to tell him to do something else. He's not really doing what he's supposed to be doing, and Maurice is not backing me up. And I'm feeling like it's a thin line. I don't know. What I summarize it as is she kind of didn't know her place when it comes to parenting Monster. That's what I kind of summed it up to be, right? But in my mind too, like, you're crying over little petty stuff. And why do I say petty? He ain't out there bopping nobody over the head. He's not on the corner trying to sell stuff. And y'all know what I mean by saying sell stuff. You didn't catch him with no GUN. Okay. And and maybe all of his grades are not, like, he's not a 4.0 student. It's not the end of the world. It's all stuff that we can resolve. And I kind of feel, even though these scenes were separate, I'm going to go ahead and mush these two scenes together, right? Because it's going to make more sense to put these two scenes together. So, sort of, kind of, I guess. So they have that conversation, about, how she feels about co-parenting and our parenting, and how Maurice is not backing her up. And then, Marcel kind of jumped in a little bit. And then Tisa tried to jump in a little bit and pretty much say, well, why are you feeling this way? Whatever. The bottom line to me is Maurice is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after Maurice,
exactly,
Kimmi
So
is the
true.
problem.
So
Kimmi
true.
is the problem.
That's the
Because
mama.
how Kimmi as a bonus mom, okay, I feel like as a bonus mom, she's no bonus. She's no bonus. When you want to say that sometimes it feels like Monster just needs a hug, or Monster needs to spend time with his father, and Monster is always in his room by himself, and the kid sitting at the table with his mother talking about, sometimes I just talk to myself. Well, you know what, Kimmi? I'm giving you a F2. Because there's no way I'm going to have a kid in the house, whether the kid is my bonus kid or the kid that I gave birth to. Am I going to see that this kid needs a hug, some more love, and I'm not going to go hug and love on this kid, no matter who spit the kid out of their belly? She sat there and told Maurice, well, I didn't give birth to him. How would she have felt if Maurice said to her, I'm not going to really say this and that to your kid because I didn't supply the sperm to make him. I'm not going to go in there and see if he needs a hug, if I need to pound him up or spend time with him, because I didn't get the sperm to make him. So we're going to get down and talk about this.
That's different.
We're going to get down and talk about this, because I'm sorry, Kimmi gets the F2 in my book. Okay? And now I also want to say, I want to also go ahead and get into this scene, because I'm going to just put these two scenes together because it's about the same thing.
Come on, Bianca.
Okay? I'm going to put these... come on now. Because if a man came in and you already had some kids and you had to go to the store and the kid is crying, you don't want that man to give your kid a tissue because he didn't use. Come on now, you ain't gonna want that. So now let's get into the scene where Kiuwha comes over. Let me say this: Maurice got his type, because those two could be sisters. Now, when Kiuwha first came on the scene, she was looking a little disheveled. All of her past little episodes. But honey, she came through the door ready today. She was ready. She was ready on that episode. Looking cute. Looking just like Kimmi.
Right.
Looking just like Kimmi. But before, I was like giving her the side eye, like, oh, okay. But no, not last week. She was looking just like Kimmi. She handed Kimmi her coat. Here, girl, go put my coat away. Let me go sit on this couch over here, and we're going to talk, okay? So then they get to talking, and you could tell Monster loves his mother. You saw the dynamics there between them. You know, she gave him the subtle look, like he was happy to see his mother come in that house.
It was the hug at the door, Diva. It was the hug at the door.
No, it was a hug at the door, but it was also, you could tell the looks that they was giving, and you could tell he was happy that the mother was there, but you can also tell that he knew it was going to be some mess because the mother was there. Okay.
But Diva, did you see how Maurice looked at Kiuwha?
Yes, I did.
He was looking at
Thank
her.
you.
Come
You
on
ain't
now.
mentioned that, Diva.
Come on now. Come on now, because I'm telling you, those two are one in the same. They look alike. They look alike. Okay. And so she sat down, and you know what? I'm gonna give it to Kiuwha. She has some growth because she sat down and was very cool and calm in that conversation. Okay. And she was protecting her son, Monster.
Right.
She had his back, and she was gonna make sure that conversation, he was gonna leave that room and not know that, you know, mommy love you. Okay. And so what? He got spoiled by the mother. What's the big deal? Whatever. So Kimmi, you had to teach him how to wash clothes. Good for you. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Good for you, girl. But anywho, so they sit there and they're talking, and Maurice is a whole type of instigator. Okay. Because he keeps trying to push those two together, and he knows how the tension, because he caused it.
It continues.
Okay. And continues. And now he wants to blink his eyes like magic and want these two to just get along. And he wants to step away. He wants to remove himself from the process of those two trying to get along. But hold on one second. Kimmi wanted to sit there and say, because she didn't give birth to Monster, you know, she can't do this and can't do that. Kimmi, you get an F. Be the bonus mom that you signed up to be. Be the mom that you signed up to be when you told your husband you agreed that his son could come and stay with y'all. So when you know that his mother is in a whole nother state, you're going to stop this nonsense of, I'm not his mom, I'm not sure. No, you are the mom right now because you're in the house, girlfriend. Step up.
Wait, you said an F, Diva? An F?
She gets
Go on and let her finish with her foolishness. Go on and let her finish with her foolishness. Because we finna read Diva down. We finna read her down. Go on and finish. Go on and finish.
Royale's not having it.
Not at all.
She gets an F. And you want to talk about, we get, and they got some stupid boot camp. Now he got to get up 5 o'clock in the morning.
To do what?
To do what? And then my thing is, you getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, and then y'all want him to have good grades. Y'all need to calm down. Like, stop. And listen, their house looks spotless.
Magazine worthy.
The fact that, you know, you talking about some garbage and raking some leaves, like, stop. Y'all can do this whole thing better. And yes, Maurice needs to spend more time with his son, but girlfriend, you're there. You're the mom. There are whole wives that they're still living in the household with the mom and the dad and the kids, and the mother is doing the bulk of everything because the man is outside the house working. I'm going to need you to get it together, Kimmi, and I need you to get it together soon. Okay? Because now Kiuwha is about to be back in town. She's going to come in town more, Kimmi. All I'm saying is get it together. Now we're going to go around and talk.
Can I start it?
Dustin, I don't like to go out of order because then I get all confused.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down, okay? But I'll come around that way so you can be the first one in the second row. Robin, what are your thoughts?
Woo! Okay. I would like to start out by saying Maurice is a piece of crap. He's an absolute Scott brother. The only difference between him and Marceau is Marceau is more slick because he's more learned and more experienced. And that the reason that we hadn't seen the full arc of the Scottness in Maurice is because he did not complete the course in lying, cheating, and gaslighting that Marceau has developed.
You said that.
From the giddy up. I said, oh, who you think you do be? King Charles? Because if you look at the setup in that household, in that living room, and how Maurice looked like he was sitting on the throne, I knew he was going to be.
You better preach, Robin.
When he was being problematic, when Kiuwha came to the house, you are such a non-upstanding man that your wife is going to stand up and greet by way of a hug your son's mother. Your ass sat there the whole GD time. And then when the woman comes into your home, you were so welcoming that you said, sit over there. I wish you would. I was like, oh no, mother effer. Here we go. Let me go to the end because I need to fill in before the middle. Kiuwha needs to take her baby home because she's the only one, the only adult in that room who clearly loves, respects, nurtures, and cares for that young teen.
Come on now.
I am certain, and I will say this until I turn into a white woman, Maurice, parents by proxy, all he wants to do is get the title. He doesn't even play or pretend play the part. He wants Kimmi to not only discipline his son, he will not back her up with discipline. He wants her to nurture his son. He wants her to teach his son. Now, remember when we learned that monster, which I do not like that word. We'll get into that in a minute. When we learned that he wanted his son to live with him, he said he wanted him to live with him during his formative years because a young boy needs his father.
That's facts.
To teach him, to guide him, to model behavior.
Yes.
You know what? If it's true, if that's what he has done, the aloofness that we believe, and I say we, not me, but the aloofness that appears to come off about Maurice Jr. is exactly who his father is. I'm not into this. You're not into me. I'm not going to give you a lot of time because you don't give me time. I'm not going to get excited or animated about you because I'm just here. How are you? Okay, calm down. I want to say that Kiuwha has come a long way.
Yes, she has.
I agree that Maurice, number one, is the problem, and Kimmi, number two, is because you know what? Besides the fact that I think it was a mess. The young boy, in my opinion, probably should not have lived with them, especially during this time when Kimmi was going through her treatment. And it's mostly because Maurice ain't ish. He ain't do nothing. So she, in addition to going through her treatment, having to work on her health and, still be the maid and everything else in the household and the cook, she got to worry about your son that you think that you spend time with because you drive him to and from school. And then you have now this boot camp. You know, we learned about boot camp. What is it? Boot camp is when the kid gets up at 5 a.m. We don't know what else it entails. So you give him an F diva. I would like to say that if he showed up in class every day, he got an incomplete. Period. Point blank. Done for now.
Yeah, come on now. Kiuwha did come a long way. Give a shout out to Kiuwha.
She need to take her baby home.
She do need to take her baby home because they love each other. You just felt it through the screen.
The way that he hugged his mother.
Yeah.
In the end, he it wasn't just a ooh hey. It was when that boy put his head on his mother's shoulder, between the shoulder and chest, like a baby. You know how the babies cuddle and nestle?
Yes.
And the way he closed his eyes, I said, Lord, his boy had been hugged.
Yeah. His mama
felt the love. And I said, please take that baby home.
Take him home. Especially when they were sitting at that table having lunch together. And she said, you want me to come more? He said,
yes.
And he said, as often as you can.
That was so touching.
Wasn't it touching?
So touching.
Wasn't it touching? And that's why Kimmi gets an F. Because if you know this boy is missing people, tell him to FaceTime his mother. Have him connect with his mama more. Say, you want some more pictures of your mama in this house? But see, don't get me started because I was going to say Kimmi know what she did. But go ahead, Roy. Yeah.
Oh, child. Okay, I'm about to be fired up because Auntie Robin, that's what I was saying earlier when I pointed out the hug diva. The way he laid his head on Kiuwha's shoulder, you could tell that he misses his mom. So thank you so much, Auntie Robin, because that's what I was saying. But I'm just mind blown that you sitting up here putting all of this on Kimmi, as if Kiuwha does not have access to call her child and FaceTime her child on a regular basis. Secondly, who do you think been raising Monster since they've been there? You think Kimmi just been walking around the house not doing nothing the past 6 seasons they've been on this show? They have had Monster 4 out of the 6.
And she been complaining all 4 of them.
Because his father is not doing his part of the job. Kimmi's been doing everything.
His father.
So what is Kimmi supposed to do? Continue to beg Maurice for help?
She married him. And she knew what type of father he
So
was.
Maurice called this meeting. Maurice called this meeting because Kimmi was complaining, correct? Because she wants help, right? She wants help in the household. So what does that mean? Kimmi has been doing the work that we're giving Kimmi an F for. You think she really just been not hugging this child? I'm just really mind blown that we're just sitting here putting all of this on Kimmi. Like Kimmi is the problem.
I said
this is his stepmother. No. You putting 20 on Kimmi when it's definitely just a 10. You putting 20 on. Kimmi
so let me say
is the stepmom. You could only expect a child to gravitate, but you can only expect the child to see them as a stepmom. You could only expect them to gravitate toward, especially when you see that Maurice is not even treating Kimmi like a real. You don't back me up. If I'm supposed to be the bonus parent, right? I'm the bonus parent. And I come to your house and I say, hey, baby, I need you to do this, this, and this. And he doesn't do it. What am I supposed to do? Jump up and down and scream and holler until he does it? This is going to make the child like me. But then when I go to your father and I ask your father, hey, I've asked such and such to do this. Or if I come to you, I've asked such and such to do this, 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 and this. And you're not backing me up. What is the child supposed to do? What is the child going to think? Well, if my dad ain't backing her up, I don't even have to listen to her. Is that incorrect?
You know what, Roy? I ain't gonna fight you because we got a long way to go around this room. And Nubian said, "Grace, Diva, Grace." Listen, Kimmi was like this before her diagnosis, and I have grace for Kimmi. I have grace for Kimmi.
I would love to see where it's at.
No. What I'm saying, Roy, is when you get with somebody and they already have a family, you gotta keep that in mind when you get with them. He knew that Maurice didn't help with her son. Her son was not 18 when they met. He didn't help with her son. So when she agreed to let Monster come near, did she think it was going to be different just because that was his biological son? He showed her who he was as a dad when her son was in the house and they was.
So how is this all on Kimmi then? I'm still confused on how this is all on Kimmi. If he showed her that and Kimmi is trying to do the work and Monster is not listening, what is Kimmi supposed to do?
Deal with it because she signed up for it. Okay. But go ahead. I'm going to shut up so you can finish your words.
Well, the chat is already agreeing with me, so they know that you done lost your mind. And I just like, and then this other thing of you trying to claim that Kimmi stole Maurice from this chick, like you're mind blowing me. You really, really mind blowing me. Let me jump to this scene with Tisha and all their little date, whatever. It's very funny to me that Tisha and Marcel can point out everybody else's problems and everybody else's issues, but when it comes to their own, they can't put the mirror in their own face. I do like the fact that they pointed out the fact that Maurice yet again left Kimmi, at the meeting that the parents are supposed to group meet. So, that goes to show again, here go Kimmi stepping up, when the regular birth father ain't even stepping up to do his portion, but Kimmi ain't doing nothing. Okay. I do not like the way that Maurice was always trying to misplace Kimmy's words as if she doesn't want to be, a parent to Monster as you were doing tonight. It was just the disrespect for Kimmi this week. I really feel like Kimmi has put in the work to be the best co-parent that she's been allowed to be. You know, you can only do the best you can for your stepchild. It's not like having their birth parent there. I just don't like the angle that y'all coming for Kimmy. And yes, I am a Kimmy fan, so maybe it could be because I'm a Kimmy fan, but she is not this bad villain of a stepmom or bonus mom that you're trying to portray her to be. I don't see it. I don't see it. And apparently the other people don't either.
The people are agreeing with you, Roy. But you know what? I'm gonna stand 10 toes down in my situation over here. And they all listen, all of them can agree with you. But I'm standing 10 toes down that you know what you're walking into. You know who Maurice is. Maurice didn't respectfully, right? I'm saying this, not trying to even be funny. He wasn't even really helping her when she was going through her situation. You saw her right before her surgery was trying to meal prep for him. So how are you expecting somebody who don't even have it in them to understand and know, I need you to help me with your son? He's not seeing it that way. He's seeing it as our son. Matter of fact, he almost wants these two, if you read between the lines, he wants those two to be sister wives. That's why he always trying to remove himself from the situation. Y'all go work it out. Did you see how he played in Kimmy's face and straight up told her, you ain't over the past. And I'm going to need you to get over it. He said the very fact that you don't even want to go sit down and talk to her means you ain't over it. He's constantly playing in her face, but he played in her face from before they even said I do. She knew what she signed up for. Now you signed on the dotted line, so deal with it. Dustin.
You messy. You so messy. You just as bad as them Scott brothers, but whatever.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Diva. I give Kimmy an F this whole episode. I didn't make it through the whole episode, but I did make it through most of it. But I do give her an F because like you said, she signed up for it. So what's the big problem for her now? She signed up for it. She's been married for him for a long time. She's been on this show for 6 seasons. Had it for 4 seasons. So if you signed up for it and you're married to somebody else and has a kid, you do it. Deal with it.
Thank you. Dr. Love, you're up.
Well, first off, I would like to say when Kimmy got sick, I do not understand why the father did not send him home and why the mother did not say, let me get him. Like somebody should have had some type of sense there. But
yes.
So I didn't like that part. Secondly, as a stepmother, bonus mom, whatever you want to say, the one thing Kimmy did not do is really put him on blast, because she said something along the lines of how he would say to her, and I've known he said this to her, and these wasn't her exact words, you ain't my mother. And you get that all the time from step kids. You ain't my mom, you ain't my dad. And they really do feel like you cannot tell them but so much. And Maurice act like he don't understand this. And he treat her like the maid. So the son feeling like, why can't I treat her like the maid? You know, it's just a pure mess. And I know you say, okay, you signed up for this, but I am quite sure when she first ever met him and met Monster, he wasn't exhibiting none of these behaviors. Okay. And you know, everybody put their best foot forward until you marry. That's how it goes, the honeymoon stage. So I don't think, you know, she signed up knowing that Monster had was gonna tell her he ain't gonna do what he's supposed to do, and she ain't signed up knowing that he was gonna be that way. Because at that point, I'm quite sure she would have said, no, thank you. And another thing, I don't understand why throughout the year he don't go live with his mother every summer, every Christmas, things like that, to give them a break. Because you do have to understand at the end of the day, for Kimmy, this is really not my child. And I only so much, and I only could say so much. And that is true facts. And the older he get, the more mouthy he gonna get. And what is her name? Our girl who came on this show, put Monster on blast. That let you know too. Tiffany, yeah, putting Monster on blast. What was he, 10, 12, vaping? You know, that right there tell you something. Kimmi didn't have to deal with that with her son. So at that point, what do you do besides call the mother and call the father and say, hey, this one need to be done? Because I'm quite sure for Kimmi's son, if I say this, if it's my son getting caught vaping at 10 and 12, yeah, you're going to answer me. I'm going to do some yelling, maybe a little cussing, a little this, a little that. But to my stepson, I ain't doing all that. I don't have none. But if I did, I already know you can't do all that before they either get back in your face, act the fool, this, and that, because your stepson is not going to have the same respect for you as your real son. And that's truth. That's it.
You're shaking the train, Emmanuel. I'm gonna reserve my comments because I'm trying to. Woo, Emmanuel. What are your thoughts?
Shout out to Derby Diva for joining as a member.
Oh, thank you, Derby Diva. All right. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Diva, I love you. I love you, Diva, but you're wrong in this one.
Get it together, Emmanuel. Get it together.
Okay. Well, let me start off by saying, first of all, if the son is being told to do his chores around the house and he is not doing them, that's a problem. Yeah, he might not be, like you said, in the street doing this or whatever, but just because he's not doing that, it doesn't mean that he gets to misbehave in the house. Now, having said that, I don't blame the son. I blame no one else but Maurice and even Kiuwha.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Kimmi is not his mom. What is all this about? Bonus parent? No, none of that. Kimmi is his stepmother. That is not her son. And you know what? He is fortunate enough to have his mother, and his father that are alive. They're more than capable to actually raise him right. And Kimmi has done all she can as a stepmom. Who do you think has been cooking for them, washing their laundry? It's been her, even during her hard situation that she's been going through. I think it's unfair to put the blame on her because her husband clearly doesn't respect her as a man is supposed to respect his wife. So what example is he leaving for his son? I don't want to call him Monster, but I'm just going to say his son. So
thank you for not calling him that.
Yeah. So no, it is not Kimmi's fault. She can only do so much because, as Dr. Love just said, you're a step parent and you have boundaries. And if Kimmi was up there all angry and screaming at him, then maybe even Maurice would tell her to back off.
Be angry though. Who said she got to be angry? Let me throw this in there, man. Let me throw this in there,
even
if he was so defiant, do you think that boy would be able to really calm himself just because there's lights, cameras, action? I seen kids. I know kids that are really out of control. And if that kid was out of control that much, you think just because the cameras was in his face, he wouldn't get flipping in the mouth, he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't say that? First of all, personally, I don't like that he's being used as a storyline. I dislike it. Point blank, period. Secondly, I say this. I'm telling you, if we pull together, and I don't care what household they came from, whatever we want to say, one is the best to the worst household. If we pull together 100 teenagers, I'm willing to bet maybe 10% of them do their chores without being told 3 to 4 times to do it.
That's
if we were to go, hold on, let me throw this out there for you. Okay. If we were to go look at a whole bunch of teenagers' rooms right now, the rooms will probably be a whole hot flaming mess. And I'm sure the parents might have told them 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to clean the room.
We may
go ahead.
We may have to look that up, Diva, because I ain't had none of my 4 children not do their chores, even if they got allowance for doing.
You're fortunate. You're lucky.
Yeah.
I know all my friends be like, girl, bye. And I'm told them 5 times to clean that room and do them chores or whatever the case may be. So my thing is, and then you got a lot of these kids now, they in so many sports, just like their parents. By the time they get home, they exhausted. And on the weekend, they got practice. So the rooms are a hot, flaming mess. And not only is the kid waiting for the cleaning lady to come, so it is the parents. I'm just saying, if we want to talk, let's keep it 100 here. That's all I'm asking.
Keep it 100.
I'm saying that there are a lot of kids, whether good, bad, or indifferent, and they're both their biological parents, who they have to be told by mom and daddy, didn't mommy tell you go clean the room? Go clean the room. And I know what you're saying. Well, Maurice is not backing her up. But see, Maurice, that's who he is. And all I'm saying is that she knew who she married. Kimmi has been complaining outside of the stuff with Monster. Kimmi has been complaining about different things with Maurice that aligns to this is his character. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't even do things that she wants him to do within their marriage as a couple. So now you think all of a sudden, because his son is there, he's going to do something out of his character and back you up for things you're telling the son. Well, he don't even back you up during y'all being a couple. Like, to make that make sense.
Okay, so Diva.
Wait, hold on. Let me throw this out there too. And so when it comes to y'all like, oh, well, she's just the step parent. She's just the bonus parent. I'm not saying even yelling, screaming, or none of that. Mm-hmm. But I am saying that when you bring someone into your home, just like I wouldn't want to my husband, and I had kids prior to him, and now he's in the home with them, I'm going to want my husband to embrace my kids like they are his own. And I'm going to encourage that. And he is trying to encourage that with Kimmi. He told her, you have rights. You can say it. You can do it. Do your thing, girlfriend. And we don't know, so I don't want to assume all these things about Kiuwha. We don't know if Monster's going with her in the summer. We don't know if he goes there in Christmas break. We don't know how many phone calls they do have or don't have. I would need to know more of that. So, but I will say from what I know, you are the primary parent in that house. And I always encourage my son. I'm like, call your dad. Make sure you say goodnight. Make sure you say this. Make sure you do that. Blah, blah, blah. Because I'm raising up the child. So Kimmi, as a parent in the day, you say, you know what, how you doing, Monster? Good morning, I love you. You know, call your mom, tell her how school was today, this, that, and the other. To say that she can be laid back and be this absentee parent and just get to say, you're not fathering your child.
That's a stretch. And Diva, it's not about embracing. She can embrace him all she wants, but like I said, he still has his birth mother. And there's something between a son and his mother that is just very unique. And Kimmi, she can do all she can, but it's never going to change the fact that that is not her son.
Emmanuel? She sat there and told Maurice he'd be in this room by himself most of the time. How, Kimmi? How when you in the house? How?
So what's she supposed to do? Just barge in the room and be like, come on, let's do what we want to do. Come on, let's. You can't force you being unrealistic about a mother and a stepchild relationship. You're being very unrealistic. Like, you just want to be 10 toes down on your point, and we gonna let Diva be 10 toes down on her point tonight because she want to be wrong like the Scott brothers.
Yeah, you will finish the talk so I can move on because everybody seems to be crazy except me. Go ahead.
No, you know what?
You and Dustin, y'all.
I was also.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I don't want to bet. I'm just saying. I agree with Diva.
I was just messing, Dustin. I'm just playing. I didn't mean it like for real. I'm just messing.
Diva,
you don't make me go off tonight because I will.
A member. Go ahead, Emmanuel. Finish your thoughts so I can move on to the Don. Go ahead.
Okay. Just one last thing. You're right. I feel like pretty much almost every teenager probably has his room dirty. But does that mean that just because everyone else's room is like that, you have an excuse? You have a free pass? No, you got to go and you got to do it, okay? And then Kimmi, as much as you've been criticizing her, we had to acknowledge the smart thing she was saying when she told Maurice. It's one thing for you to tell him, but how is he going to do it if he doesn't see you doing it, if you don't show him how? So, I don't know. I stand with Kimmi, and I think she has done nothing wrong. I'm sorry. And there's no reason why Kiuwha shouldn't take her son to live with her.
But see, what Emmanuel, the point y'all not getting is Maurice has a strong personality. If you notice the dynamics in that room, he was controlling both of those ladies with his actions and without really saying a word. He was controlling the both of them. He told Kiuwha to her face, "You babied him." You saw she just sat there. She gave him a look, but she just sat there. He tells Kimmi to her face all the time. He might as well just say, "Shut up, Kimmi," because that's how he is. So he controls both of those ladies. He's playing both of the ladies. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And although Kimmi says a little bit more, it don't matter. Because at the end of the day, he's a Scott brother. And guess what? With the Scott brothers, they always win, no matter what female they're with. So Kimmi can voice her opinion, but he pretty much told her, like, what are you saying? What are you saying? He told Kimmi, "You're still in your feelings." And he told her, "I need you to go fix it with Kiuwha because she's going to be around more." Do you not see that?
Well, the son is a Scott.
That's who he is.
That's
He's
Maurice.
a Scott, and he's messy. And I meant this, Maurice. He's messy.
The
But
son
let me
is
get to
too.
Dadon. Let me get to Dadon. Dadon, what are your thoughts?
Son of Scott.
This boy is turning 16. He just didn't develop these habits overnight. Over the
That
past
part.
4 years that he was with his dad and his stepmom, he was with his mother for the first 11 years,
And
which
his father.
means.
And his father.
But
They
how
were
long?
married.
They were married, but he like I said, he was still with them. He was with his mom for the first 11 years. So those habits weren't instilled in him then. So we can expect now that he's with a step bonus that he's going to get them now, because the foundation should have been laid a long time ago, and it wasn't.
Facts.
And
Wait, Dadon, I'm gonna let you finish, but Kimmi taught him how to wash the clothes, and he knows how to wash the clothes now.
right,
Everybody's moldable. You can do it, but go ahead. I'm listening.
but she shouldn't even had to have done that.
Thank you.
She should.
Come on, the guy.
And how many times have we seen mothers show up at the stepmama house because you done whooped my child, you done told my child this, you done told my child that, and the mother say, "You ain't his mama. Don't be telling him to do this, that, and the third. Don't be telling my child to do this, that, and the third."
But
It's
that's
a
not
fine.
Kiuwha. No, but Dadon, I'm gonna let you finish, but let's deal with Kiuwha. You see, she's sitting there, she's complacent. She even got on the phone and told Kimmi, "Do what you gotta do."
Right, over the phone. But let her would have done that in real life.
Exactly.
We all seen what Kiuwha gives, and it's not nothing pretty. So it's a fine line for any step parent to treat a stepchild like they would their own child. Is a fine line. And Maurice is trying to raise this young king to be something that he's not.
Mm.
He's telling him to do things that he's not even doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just can't, bark an order. You got to give the example, and that's what Kimmi is saying. You have to give the example as the head of what to do, and he's not doing it. He's not doing it all. You just can't say, like he told the mom and the stepmom, "You sit there, you sit there."
Mm-hmm. Come on, Dadon.
I mean, what is he learning? He's being brought up. His actions are saying one thing verbally, but what he sees is something completely different.
And that's usually what they follow, what they see.
Right. So, it's a thin line what Kimmi is saying and what she's doing. We all can sit up here and say, "Yeah, my stepchild can be under my thumb, and this whatever I say goes." But as soon as he called that parent, and that parent shows up, it's gonna be some hood fight, scratch, kicking doors down when they show up on that front doorstep, and it's gonna be a problem.
See, here's the Don. Let me tell you where I'm missing you at. I'm missing you. Don't laugh, Rhea. I'm missing you because that does normally happen when there's no communication. But you notice, Maurice, every time you think there's an issue, he gets Kiuwha on the phone. Remember him and Kimmi was discussing another situation, and he said, hold on. He said, don't call her. He called her anyway. So
Right,
my
but
thing is, their situation is unique and different. Unique and different because Maurice is really trying to keep Kiuwha in the situation, letting her know step by step. I'm telling Kimmi she can go ahead and discipline him. What are your thoughts? So it's not going
Nope.
to be foreign to for if the junior calls Kiuwha and said, listen, this, that, she gonna be like, I already know your dad and Kimmi already called me. So let's talk about their situation and not make this generic. They got a sister-wife situation going on, and Kimmi knows that she can step up, but she doesn't want to step up because, in my mind, truth be told, she don't want Monster there.
no, I think she does. I think she wants him there, but I think she understands the role that she has to play because his mom is still yet living. Now, if his mom was deceased, then she could step in that role full and capable, and we see that she has a son that she's done well with. But because his mom is still living, it's only a certain amount that she can do. Let me tell you something. My ex-wife and I, if she gets remarried, her husband has a thin line on what he can say to our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
A thin line. And that's just real. And I think that's what Kimmi is saying. You know, she can't go in there and take the PS5 and throw it on the ground or roll over it because you ain't go outside and take the trash out. She can't grab the belt and beat him. She can't
who's
take his
doing
phone.
all these extreme things just because you didn't take the garbage out, though?
But that's what
Hold
they're
on,
saying.
1 second. You know what, Dustin? We're on the train alone by ourselves. We're in the car, and everybody else is in another car because this is insane right now. And nobody.
No, because y'all are insane right now. Y'all are insane right now.
Realistic.
Go ahead, God. Let me hear
I do think
let me say something.
I think Kimmi does want him there.
Finish.
I think Kimmi does want him there, and but she's doing what she is allowing herself to do. Yeah, she could take it further, but is that her role? I don't think she wants to take it further because she doesn't want any more mess. She's dealing with mess already with Maurice. Did y'all see that other interview that other interview he did when he said that he requires a certain amount of days of sex even while she's in the worst part of her cancer?
Yeah.
That's the type of man that and that's in real life.
Real life.
That's the type of man that
hold on 1 second, guys. If I saw the interview too, right? So you already know what type of man he is. But my thing is, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Before she said I do, she knew what she was getting herself into.
Right.
Did he just wake up? No, did he just wake up and demand all this sex? No, you know what happened? Before they got married, when he wanted it in the kitchen, in the bathroom, down the stairs, around the corner, she was doing it.
No, sometimes they
before
change
they got married, and that
married.
officer the credit when they was doing it and doing
Come on
it.
now, Robin. They was doing it.
Yeah, they were doing it when she was healthy.
But he don't give a damn. That's the thing.
Right,
You need to be clear. He's a misogynistic, selfish, self-centered piece of.
And we're saying that last episode I saw was an eye opener. We like to say Martell this and Marceau that, but Maurice is a problem.
Yes, he is.
He is a huge problem. That last episode was an eye opener for me. For you to sit there and say y'all two talk about it.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Y'all two talk about it. No, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Y'all two talk about it.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Jonah, thank you so much for the super chat. Just supporting the channel. Keep up the good work, beautiful people. Thank you so much. Let me say this. In real time, I have girlfriends that some of them are the bonus mother, the step parent, whatever. And some of them, their kids go to the bonus mom or whatever the case may be. I have I have a few good scenarios, but one scenario where the kids go to the dad. His current wife is the reason why he stepped up and came back in the kid's life, paying child support and having the child every weekend. And even when he has to work on the weekend, that mother, his wife, tells her, bring the kids over. We still good. And they talk all the time. So what I'm saying is, when you sign up to be in an already made family, you gotta do what you're supposed to do. This nonsense of, oh, I'm the stepmother, I can't. No, you can't.
So Diva, what has Kimmy been doing then? Answer, what has Kimmy been doing this whole time then?
Cooking dinner.
Taking care of Monster.
How you taking care of him when you said sometimes he's in the room all alone by himself all the time?
So again, I asked you, what is she supposed to do? Go in there and grab the child out of the room and be like, come on. You can't force a child to do anything.
So then why are you trying to force her to take out the trash?
No, you know what she should do? Listen, Super Nanny would have said to the mother, the boy is just going up in his room. You must find an activity. Go engage him. Talk to him.
Come on, Robin.
That's the only thing. But I think I don't believe that she has a good enough foundation with Maurice Jr. that she's so hesitant, because it's not that she's not open, receptive, that she lacks communication skills. I think that she does not, no matter how tough and smart and accomplished he does not know where she stands with him.
Right. I agree with that.
I ain't fooling with y'all tonight. Hold on one second. Savannah said, Diva, I love you, but you just
Now that's funny. Hey. Oh my God.
You know what, y'all? I'm dead serious right now. I'm dead serious.
You are simply the worst, Diva. You're simply the worst.
I'm trying to teach people on how to be a good bonus mom / parent. Carrie, what are your thoughts? Because I cannot tonight. I cannot. Carrie, what are your thoughts?
You see, she didn't let you finish, Dawn, because she got her.
Now y'all know better than that. Go ahead,
Carrie. Firstly, I want to say that this particular scene was probably one of the best scenes that I've seen on reality TV, because it was indicative of what really goes on in real life. In real life, like I didn't miss not seeing Martell's wife. I didn't miss any of that. But this was very interesting, and it has sparked a larger conversation, which I think a lot of times that's what we should do. We should have a larger conversation about these things that really happen in real life with blended families, step parents, stepdads, stepchildren, bonus children, all these things. But what I cannot understand is, so Maurice and Kimmi dated for 7 years before they even got married.
Come on, talk, girlfriend. Oh shoot, come on.
And for the life of me, well, it's a telltale sign that there was not a lot of communication.
Yes.
Let me back up. There was communication, but
there was sexual communication. But
Kimmi heard what she wanted to hear, and a lot of times when you say, "Okay, Kimmi knew what she was getting into," I think that we can all say that we thought something. So there's theory and then there's reality. So in theory, she probably thought, okay, he says he wants to be the head of household, and he says this and he says that. But the reality of it now has kicked in of who he really is. And I agree with you, Don, that this behavior in their son this started a long time ago. And this tells me that Maurice and Kiuwha had the same type of setup. This didn't just happen. It didn't just happen to Kimmi. It happened with Kiuwha. Kiuwha was raising their son. And that's the way Maurice wants it. He's not telling Kimmi, he's not saying one thing and doing something else. He wants his son to be the same as him. So I disagree that he's saying one thing and displaying a different behavior. No, he's not. he's saying what he wants and he's behaving how that's just what he's doing.
But
No,
Carrie, hold on, he is right because he's saying that Munster should take out the garbage. That's what this whole boot camp is about. So he doesn't do any of that because
but that's what I'm saying. He doesn't do it. So he's saying that only to I think just to get to like so that Kimmi
to
can get off
appease
his
Kimmi, to
right
appease Kimmi.
to get Kimmi off of his back for a short amount of time. But I do not understand how in the 7 years that they were dating, how Kimmi wasn't able to see who their son was and what his behaviors were, and
Want to
those
know
things
why?
weren't
Because she didn't
addressed.
want to see. She didn't
No, no,
want to
no.
see.
I mean,
But he wasn't
and
there.
that's what
He
I'm
was
saying.
with the mom.
No,
And
no,
that's
no,
and before you and
but Carrie, I'm gonna let
go
you
ahead.
finish. Hold on now. If you get with a man and he has a child, but see, there's some underlying stuff here. She might not have seen Munster as much. Why? Because her and Kiuwha always had a thing.
Right.
And they still got a thing. But if you get with a man and you know your intentions is that you want to marry this man and wants to go somewhere, and you know that this man has a child, shame on you. You get an F. I'm sorry. You get an F. Shame on you if you know you want to marry someone and they have children and you don't say at some point, it's time to introduce me to the kid and let me know what type of relationship you have with the mother of your children, because that's going to be a telltale sign into your future. Now, if we want to sit here and be stupid when we getting into these relationships, you're going to get what you got. What they say, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And here's her prize. She got a man that plays in her face. She got a man, when it's through sickness and health, he's still expecting her to drop it low and spread it wide. She got a man where she's about to go into surgery and she's worrying about prepping his food so he won't be hungry while she's in the hospital. She got a man that brought his son into the house and tell her, you figure it out. Because you're the wife, you're the mom, and you have rights to do whatever you need to do to discipline him. And I'm going to pick him up and drop him off to school. And after that, you figure it out. She's not clueless as to who Maurice was. Now, she could sit on the TV all she wants and play in our face and act like, oh, I didn't know, or oh, this, that, and the other. And that's why he gives it right back to her. He is who he is. And if she dated him 7 years before marrying him, go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand that. There was a lot of communication that didn't happen. There was a lot of boundaries that weren't set. Um, even between all of them should have been sitting down. Like I said, this was one of my favorite, probably had to be my
episodes.
favorite scenes of reality TV overall, because this really does happen. People really don't sit down and talk about, okay, who's gonna discipline? You know what I'm saying? Whose
Come on.
responsibility is it? You have to get all these questions answered, and you have to all check off all these boxes before we introduce children into these situations that we as adults put them in. But I don't think that happened. I really don't. I really don't, because like you said, Kiuwha had an issue with Kimmi, so she definitely wasn't about to disclose any information about her son, or so there's a lot of stuff missing for me. But I did enjoy it. I really did,
It's a good
because
scene.
it was, because it's indicative, and I do disagree that he's being used as a storyline, because this is what really happens. Now, all this other foolishness that's going on reality TV, now those are storylines. This that happened between Maurice and Kimmi and Kiuwha, this really happens in today, in the
It
world
does
today.
really happen in today. And when I say being used as a
hmm
storyline, not that it's fake, is that I don't feel that you can see in his face a lot is going on. You can see in his face he's not always comfortable having these
Right.
particular conversations on TV. And I'm
Yeah.
saying, don't use your son as the sacrificial lamb so you can have a scene.
Well,
I personally would not have my kid on that TV especially for these scenes, the way they're going down. Because when do we hear about the good things that Munster is doing?
The point you make the point.
I
The
haven't
point
heard that. I
you're
haven't
being
heard
too
that.
nice.
Huh?
You're being too nice about this.
What do you
Because
mean?
yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. They are so selfish, and it can be with or without TV, that they didn't see the forest for the trees. All they saw was good times and themselves. There was no consideration given to really putting this young boy into their plan. We know that because all Maurice said is, "I want him to live with me." He didn't say. I mean, you know what we haven't heard? We know that he says he has friends, but he doesn't talk to them. He keeps things to himself. What does he do besides have his father wake him up at 5 o'clock in the morning? Does he participate in any extracurricular activities? Does he go down to Lou's spot and participate in
football?
Does he go to the movies with his friends? Is he a skateboarder? Is he a bike rider? Is he a hooper? They present the way that what we see on TV. I kind of believe that that's his entire world. He just seems so limited, and not through any fault of his own. I think that, especially given his father is not investing in helping to develop this young boy at all. He's not doing anything to nurture him. He's not doing anything to help to educate him. Does he sit down and talk to him about schoolwork, his future plans? We don't see any of that. All we see is him sitting on his throne, barking out orders and expecting just to be catered to, period, point blank. And he sacrifices.
Can we all agree that because Maurice is honest about who he is, and that's how he was raised, and most people have a tendency to do what was done. That's what they know. I'm not saying it's right. That's not what I'm saying.
You're speaking facts, but let me throw this in there. See, here's the thing I have with the homework. That's why I'm telling you, I give her an F. Y'all looking through blinders right now. But she said, how many times did you help him with his homework? Sister girl, can you not help the boy with his homework? I don't get it. I'm confused.
So Diva,
No, hold on now. If I got 5 kids in my house, I wouldn't give a darn who those 5 kids belong to. Where's your homework? Let's do the homework. Let me see the homework.
Yeah, see it.
And listen, until my kid got to a certain level and I could see the grades online, because these schools now, you can see the grades online. I'm like, let me see your homework. What homework do you have? And I could look up the homework online. And I was like, did you do the book report? Because I could see online. Now everything is online. Before, you used to have to depend on the kids writing this stuff down and make sure they wrote down the homework. Now you could go online and see everything when your kid is even going to have a test. So I'm sorry, people. If your kid is failing in school in this technology day and age, you get an F. You get an F. Because
if she's asking him to clean up and he's not doing that, what makes you think that she gonna ask him to do his homework and go back and check and he's gonna do it? You can put anything on a paper and make it look like you're doing. I mean, because I just feel like you being out of the boxes if Kimmi just ain't done nothing. Like, I haven't heard you give Kimmi any kind of credit in the 4 years that they have been living with him.
She cooks dinner. When you listen, Royale.
I'm about to get off this line because you're gonna make me mad.
If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
I'm about to get out of this one.
Let me tell you something. Now you can look online and ask the computer a question. If your kid don't understand the problem on their homework, or you don't understand.
Diva, that wasn't the point that she was making. The point that she was trying to make to him, and that's not even the point. The point of it is that his father is not. His father is not active.
But Carrie, helping him. So the point is, y'all said he's not passing. So I know that your father's not helping you. What I'm going to do is help you and then tell your father, listen, I don't help them 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week. I'm going to need you to step in and be there for your son and help him too. But I'm not going to wait till your son gets
So you're assuming that she's not doing that.
Well, how could she be doing that? The boy is still failing. They said it out their own mouth.
Okay.
But Diva,
Well, I'm here to tell you that children do that even when they have two parents in the home. They still fail.
Well, the
And
parents get an F.
he's
The
16.
parents get an
No,
F.
not at 16. No, they don't
No,
get an
no,
F.
at
Kimmy
16.
doesn't get an F for that.
No,
No,
let
she
me tell you
doesn't.
something. Listen, to the day my son graduated, I'm telling you right now.
But
To
that's
the
you. You're
day my
different,
son
and he's your
graduated.
biological son.
Listen, I did
yeah.
it with my godchild. I did it with my children's, my friends' children.
Okay,
Like, no, if you come to my
Don, can
house,
you please get her and
no,
get her together?
hold on,
I'm in the
Stacy,
back chat
Stacy,
with Royale.
hold on 1 minute. Stacy
Get her.
said, Diva, you know darn well you ain't going to see the same dang thing as you do in marriage. You see some form of it. Listen, I'm 53. You see some form of it, but I love y'all. But it's okay. I'm on the train by myself. Michelle, thank you for the super chat. This is real life. I went through that. He's not comfortable being on TV. Come on, Michelle. Come on, Michelle. So you're going to use your kid as a sacrificial lamb. Get the kid off of TV. It's not right. It's not fair. And Kiuwha, let me tell you about. Hold on
But
one
that's
second.
but that's all the parents. That's the biological parents' fault. That has nothing to do with Kimmy.
Everybody, hold on 1 second, because I still got to get to Juanita, my last two, the people at the bottom here. Hold on 1 second. Here's the other thing, right? Yes, I think with Kiuwha, one, first of all, I believe this is not a fact. I believe that Maurice really wanted Monster with him too, because he didn't want to pay child support. I think it has more stuff to do with why he really wanted him, but that's a whole other story in and of itself. And I think that Kiuwha knows this man's personality, and she has dealt with him. And she's not going to sit there and buck the system. The Scots are the Scots. That's all I got to say.
Of course she knows him, and I think that she still, to some degree, has feelings for him, or else she wouldn't have still been hot with Kimmy.
She absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Why you hot with Kimmy if you don't? Yeah, of course she knows him. She's not upset with Maurice. She's upset with Kimmy.
Well, oh my God, Michelle. Thank you, girlfriend. We're connecting. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for your words. Right, Diva. As a step parent, you have to help with homework.
Why are you assuming that he does it? That she doesn't?
Here's the thing. Like, for you to say, like, she needs to help him with the homework. She needs to take him out the room. It's sounding like you want Kimmy, who is the stepmom of this kid who has two parents.
Oh, I really can't wait for y'all to get to me.
To be a single mother.
Me too, in my opinion.
That's what it's sounding like. Like y'all want her to be a single mother and do everything.
I'm shutting up. I'm shutting up, Emmanuel, because Juanita, and in my opinion, waiting. Go ahead, Juanita.
Okay. Whoo, child, y'all. Let me clear my throat.
Come on, Mama Nita.
Let me get my glass of wine. I'm going to talk to y'all from a grandma's point of view. And y'all might not agree with me, because I agree with Diva.
I want the grandma who drink bourbon to talk.
Amen.
You want the bourbon?
Look at Roy doing the Nene.
He did the Nene style.
This will be a little bit of the Hennessy and a little bit of
there we go.
It's hot over here. Go ahead, Juanita.
Okay, first of all, when you marry into a situation, because my kids have a stepfather, and he treats them, and he don't even call them. He don't even call them. They don't even call him.
Juanita, for some reason, I'm loving you, but it's a distorted. Is it me?
Something's going on with mine. Okay, is that better? Is that better?
Yes.
So he's a stepfather, but my children don't use the word stepfather. They call him dad.
Come on.
And even though we adopted our grandsons, he's right there at the table because I'm not good in math. He's the mathematician. He sat there and he helped them with everything. But now let me go back. This is deep rooted. Those Scott brothers need therapy because what happened to them when they were growing up it's going to pass down to their sons as well if they don't stop it now. Kimmy has let Maurice gotten away with so much, and Kiuwha probably did too when they were married. So I mean, hey, you got to when you get into a situation when you marry a man, and he has a child, I have a child.
Come on.
That should be a mutual understanding there. Maurice didn't have any problem trying to discipline her child.
Holla.
He didn't have any problem at all telling him what he needed to do or get a job or whatever. But now all of a sudden your own child is here and you can't step up to the plate as a dad. You got to show that boy some love, and you got to show him things that men should be doing. You should be out there with him raking those leaves, taking out the trash. You should be taking him to basketball games, baseball games, movies, showing him the things that a dad should be doing with their son. Now, it shouldn't all be on Kimmi, but Kimmi has a role to play in this as well, being a mom. We as mothers are supposed to be nurturers.
Yes.
Whether you're a stepmom or a bonus mom or a grandmom or a mom. It's in our nature to be nurturers.
Come on.
So I feel sorry for him, and I really believe he's gonna need a lot of therapy. He loves his mom, he misses his mom, and I agree his mom should have never let him go with Maurice because she knew how Maurice was.
I don't think she had much choice.
I think too that Maurice didn't want to play child support.
That part.
He just want to have something there. But okay, you not wanting to pay child support. It is your responsibility. He is in your house. You have to be the man. Put your foot down, and as Spike Lee say, do the right thing.
Do the right
That's
thing.
all I gotta say.
Thank you, Juanita. Let me just throw this out there. You want to know who gave us a really good example of blended family on Run's house? Let me tell you, I did not know until I knew that some of them kids was not his wife and his.
The girl.
And they called her mom. They still called their mom, and their mom came up on that show. Give it up to Run's house for having a blended family. And that mother never tried to overstep their mother. She respected their mother and that the mother existed and was still alive. But those girls loved his wife.
But Diva,
so did you read the book that they wrote, Diva? Did you read that book? Because it started off very rocky. It started off real rocky before it came out to Run's house. So let's backtrack that. Let's backtrack
those two daughters, their mom came on a few episodes.
Yes, she did.
And that's JoJo's mom as well.
Yeah,
that's JoJo's mom as well.
She had problems with Janice.
The point is, when you saw the show, you didn't know until you knew that they was a blended family. In my opinion, you're up. She wasn't like, call your mother. You don't know the math problem, call your mother.
Come on, let's hear it.
They were grown by the time that they started, but okay.
Here we go. Okay.
It's good for them. Let's hear what he, in my opinion, got to say.
Here's the thing, okay? All of them get an F. I ain't giving nobody no grace. I told you this. Let me tell you something. It is disgusting.
Yes, come on now.
That is 3 grown people.
Yes.
And we sitting here like this man is on a fucking throne.
Oh, wait, in my opinion.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It is ridiculous that this man sat here like he was King Tut on the throne. And he looking between both of these women, talking about some, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? And ain't now one of them check him. What you gonna do, Buster? It was your sperm that created him. Let me tell you something. All of them get an F because I'm seeing a baby here, and I'm saying baby because he's still a kid. Right. I'm seeing a baby here that's crying for attention, that's crying for somebody to say, I love you.
Right.
And if it's 3 grown adults sitting in the room and nobody can sit here, put their arm around this baby, tell this baby they love him, wrap him up in some love. You worried about these doggone cameras, but you ain't worried about this child here. That's the messed up part. Yeah. And for that, all of them get an F because it doesn't take you whooping, discipline, or nothing to sit down and talk to their kid to get to the root of why he's so depressed. Why he can't do the things that he's not doing? Because everything that a kid don't do, there's a reason why they're not.
Well, come on,
Okay?
girl. Let's talk about
Because if that child feels like he's failing in school, it's something happening at that school, either in his academics or the kids at the school that's making him act out at that school. But a real parent is gonna get to the bottom of it. Why is your grades low? Why are you failing? Why you can't handle your homework? Do we need to have you tested for a learning disability? Whatever the case may be, it don't take no discipline for that part.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all can miss me with the Kimmi had cancer. Yeah, she did. Okay, I feel so sorry for her. Okay, but let's put on our big girl draws. We don't. A lot of us done went through it being single parents. Okay, and we still had to get up every day. We had to show up, and we had to show up for our kids. And in the meantime, we had to replace not having the other parent and give them more love to let them know that they was more worthy. So I'm sitting here, I'm listening to everybody fighting over who's in the right. All of them in the wrong. I ain't capping for none of them. Kim is 34 years old. Maurice is 42 years old. Kiuwha is 37 years old. Miss me with that. All three of y'all are grown.
Come on.
Kimmy's only 34.
Yeah, she looks. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I think all of them need therapy.
They do, and let's be clear. You hit the nail on the head. They all are responsible there, right? They all are missing the point here. And let me tell you, I don't feel like this kid is doing anything more or less than a typical teenager. And Dewan made a good point. Isn't the parent that's present the parent? If you're there in this kid's life 365 days, or most of it there are, then you got to step up and be the parent. And when your kid is not doing well in school, if you can't do it, then you get them tutoring. They got this place called Kumam. My son went there for a little while, but they got a whole bunch of other tutoring places just like it. But when you are in the house and your kid is failing, I'm sorry, you get an F too. A big fat F at that. Joyce, thank you for the super chat. The age of the children is very important when the step parent enters their life. Munster is very defiant towards Kimmi. How? When have we seen that?
No, he's not.
What do you mean? Kimmi was just sitting here saying that Monster doesn't do anything that she asks. Is that
was
not
the point of
defiant?
the meeting? That was the point of the meeting.
That's not, so. What is defiant then? What's defiant? Explain to me what defiant is.
No, let me. Okay, so we got to back up for 1 minute. Every time, everybody on this panel, try to think back to your childhood. Every time your parents said do something, y'all did it right away?
I did.
Almost always.
Most of the time. And I'll put my mama on camera right now and she will tell you. You want me to go get it real quick?
I can go get my dad. Yeah, I did.
Y'all are exceptional.
No.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, this is just a different. I can't
Different
believe
time.
that you're
Well, I
saying
got
that.
6 of them, okay, and the grown ones still don't do what they supposed to do.
No, but I'm saying what I'm saying is you're saying that
us.
he's not defiant, and that it's almost like Kimmi has to take these extreme circumstances, or Kimmi shouldn't have to go get Maurice. Kimmi shouldn't have to call Monster's mom. He shouldn't have to do any of that. Because first of all, Kimmy's an adult. Kimmi is your your father's wife now.
Right.
And that's the stepmom. If she's asked him to do something, he should do it. Period. Just like if he goes to school. Because if he's doing this at home, he's doing it at school. Period.
Well, obviously, right?
He
because
did
his
vape.
grades are not that good. But see, so here's the thing, right? The thing is, you're acting like every kid in this world.
No, that's not what we're acting like.
The first request, they're like, sure, mom. Sure, I'll do it. I'll clean the kitchen. I'll take out the garbage. These kids now with their video games, all right, mom, I'll do it. Wait a minute, I'll be right there.
Right. So, Diva, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a son, right? And if the father is in the house and married the full time, and then say for instance your son's 17, right? And you say to your son, can you go out and cut the grass? And like you say, even our biological sons would be like,
come on.
no, not today, mom. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and tomorrow come. But then you call your husband and you say, not and asked him 3 times to cut this grass. Okay, that's my last time. What do you expect your husband to do at that point?
Okay, so come on, Dr. Love. Let me talk to you for 1.2 seconds, right? The man I got with, as soon as before I even finished my words, he was like, I'm calling him on his phone once he had a cell phone. But when we was together, he was like, say no more, give me 1 minute. And then not only did my son do it, he would call me and say, Mom, I'm sorry. You gotta know who you getting with.
Drop the mic.
If you know who you getting with, you gotta deal with what you got with. Will you lay down? You know, I had a very good friend, a male friend. When me and my girlfriend was saying something one time, he looked us in the face and said, "That's who y'all chose."
Okay, so
that's who y'all chose.
It's not
put your big girl panties on because that's who y'all chose. And
so when is Kiuwha gonna put her big girl panties on and be a mom? When is Maurice gonna put his big boy drawers on and step up? No, let's do that because you're putting it all on Kimmi like it's her responsibility to make this happen. And Don just said it best in the comment. We are letting Maurice skate by and his mama.
No, you I got my foot on all they necks, okay? None of them standing by. All of them got an F, okay? We keep trying to point fingers at one person. It's not just one person.
Hold on.
Exactly.
They said I'm on lean. What is that?
Exactly.
Hold on.
Maurice,
all of them are wrong.
Maurice is not the head of his household. As the Bible say, the man is the head of the household. So is that what you're saying? She married somebody that's not the head of the household?
No. Hold on 1 second. V, thank you for the super chat. Kimmi had her son. Hold on 1 second. Kimmi had her son at 13. Her relationship was different in raising her son. They grew up together. Listen, okay. Here's the thing, right? Everybody knows that no matter what couple it is, they have their own dynamics in their relationship. That's a point blank and a period. There are some females that they do everything in their home. That's what they do. That's what they signed up for. There's some homes where the man does all the cooking. That's what that couple does. That's what they signed up for. That's how it is, right? And I'm just saying that everybody dynamics within their household are different, but everybody knows what they signed up for. And you can get on TV because the cameras are in your face and you can play in our face and act like you didn't know what you signed up for, but that's still not going to change the dynamics of what you signed up for.
You saying,
hold on 1 second, you're expecting because a camera is in this man's face. He already showed us who he was. The Scott brothers has showed us who they are. And you see Marcel, he don't care what camera's in his face. He's not deviating from who he is. He'll tell Tisa all the time on a regular basis, this is what it is. Don't believe the other people. Believe me, I'm your husband. Hear me wrong. And she falls in line.
So you saying that, okay, so you're saying that she signed up for a man not to back her up, but you can back me up with my child, but you can't back me up with your child?
He ain't really back her up with his
right,
child.
He was just there.
What he wanted, no, let me hold on 1 second. What he wanted was her child to get out the house and be a man and do what he needed to do on his own. Now, do I think he would do that same thing with my son? I'm 10 toes down that he would not. But what he wanted was her grown son, after he finished college, to go out there, get a job, and make a way for himself because he claimed that's what he did. That's what he did with her son. And you see, he had no problem telling her son that. He didn't ask her, can I tell him? He told him. So what I'm saying is, you got to see he is who he is, and that's the man who he is, and you're not going to change him. And he's telling you, just like he tells her to do everything else, he told her, make my food. He told her, you had sex with me before, you need to have sex with me now. So why do you think it's foreign that he's telling her, go take care of my son?
Without my backup? Without no backup?
Huh?
Yeah, because he don't give
Right.
a
She
She's
shit.
don't get
saying
back up
take
for
care of
nothing
my
else.
son without no backup.
She don't get back up for nothing else in that relationship. Did he say I'm gonna go
Oh,
in the kitchen and
okay.
help you meal prep my food? No, she was meal prepping her food the day before her surgery. Did he say, I understand that you know, whatever, and you couldn't have sex? No, she had to fake an orgasm to give him what he wanted.
All right. So Maurice just
Where's the
stupid, huh?
backup? Where's the backup? She never had backup this whole relationship. And to think now, and somebody said Kimmi is 50. I didn't think she was 34. And
Definitely not
somebody
30.
said,
He is not 50.
yeah. So Google her. Somebody Google
Kimmi
her.
ain't no 50.
He's
Kimmi is not
34.
no 50, okay?
I don't know if she's 34 though.
That's
She's not
what Google
34.
said.
Somebody Google and find out. But either way, it doesn't matter. She's grown and she's married and she got a grown kid and now she's in a marriage and she has another child that she's responsible for.
2 children.
Yeah. So thank you. So all I'm saying is, who's that? All I'm saying, how old is she?
Yeah, she's 34. She's 34.
That she's
Yes,
living
she
the hard life
is.
you missed a piece of.
All
Wow.
of them young like that. The girls I know for sure. The guys I'm not sure of.
I'm shocked that she's 34. She doesn't
Mel
look.
is 37.
Somebody see that's
Yeah,
not real.
they
I
all
think
around the
that
same age.
I don't think that's real. Cause before
No.
somebody else had said something about her age, she kind of cringed, like she didn't want us to know. I don't think that 30.
Well, that's on Google. That's what Google has on her IBDM. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Can
I
I
do.
say
Yeah.
something right quick,
I do.
please?
Okay, yes, you can, Don.
We are saying that Maurice was able to do these things with Kimmy's son. I think that was the precedent set that Kimmi set, that you are allowed to do these things and I don't mind and I'm going to back you up with them. You never saw Kimmi give Maurice a lot of feedback when he was saying these things to
Right.
her son.
That's not true.
And Kimmi and Maurice was around Kimmy's son for the 7 years that we didn't see him before they got married. So he had a history with Kimmy's son that that maybe Kimmi felt extremely comfortable with him doing those things. As far as the TV tells us that this young king was with his mom majority of the time.
Don,
So-
can I throw this in there? That is not true, because when he was trying to kick her son out, when she was saying get a job and he needs to do this and that, she straight up told Maurice to give him time.
But that's still different when when you are a graduate of college. We're talking about a graduate of college, a college graduate, and a 15-year-old boy. It's 2 different milestones in life. Kimmi, I don't think Kimmi was introduced to this young king at an early age to get that foundation. And yes, she could have said, I need to meet your son or I need to do this. But Maurice, as the man, should have said, I'm going to introduce you to my son. And I'm going to introduce you to his mom when he was younger, because 7 years is a long time to date and not be involved with a child. That's a long
Absolutely.
time. And
Absolutely.
and Maurice had that benefit with Kimmy's son, but Kimmi didn't have that benefit with Maurice's son. So the president is not set where she can go in and tell him and yell at him and do the da 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 da. That's not. He was with his mom majority of the time. So she
and that's
can
because
give.
Kiuwha didn't like
Yeah,
Kimmi. Don't
right.
forget about that.
They couldn't stand she couldn't stand him. So could you imagine at that time, in those first 3 years, Kimmi yelling at him? Kiuwha would have went off. Maurice would have
Why are we
never had
saying
that boy.
yelling though? Kat, thank you for becoming a member. I truly appreciate it. Let me just say this. Kimmi is not 33. You see this biography. Kimmi Grant is a reserved person. She is yet to disclose her parents and siblings. In other words, less is known about her childhood or whereabouts. Her parents recently came on the show. Many websites claim her age to be 33 as of 2022. However, as she has never mentioned her age or birthday, it's hard to accept this claim. Okay. I don't think she's 33. Kimmi is more like she's up there, because I
Yeah,
remember
for
when
sure.
somebody said something about her age before, and she got really like emotional about it. I don't know why she doesn't want to tell her real age, but I don't nowhere believe that woman is 33 and
Her
that she
net
had
worth
her
is
son
10
and that
And
she
she
million.
might be older than Maurice, and that
She
might
is.
be the problem.
yeah.
She is.
But Don, I want you to finish. Everybody's saying I'm so wrong on this one. Sometimes, you know what, I'm really surprised. Sometimes, but don't be surprised. I love you and thanks for being here. But don't be surprised, because what I'm saying to you is, and I'm helping some of the bonus parents, step parents, parents that you are not the biological parent in the home. Okay, I'm just saying that
You helping people tonight?
no, when you take on the responsibility of someone else's kid being under your watch, don't be so lackadaisical and removed from helping to raise them up who they should be in this world, because I don't think that's right. You're the
And
parent in the home, and you should do all that you can do. And you can achieve all of these things without yelling, screaming, and carrying on and acting a monkey nut fool. You don't have to do that. Like I told my son, I told you to clean your room. Okay, you don't want to clean your room. I already know there's somewhere that he's going to want to go. He's going to have somebody that wants to come over, and it's going to be something he wants to do. And as soon as he said, "Can I go?" Yeah, sure. Is your room clean? When your room is clean and I inspect it, if it's not too late, you might still be able to go. And if you do that enough, they'll start cleaning that room and doing what they're supposed to do. And he darn near falls out all the time. Can I do it next time? No, you got to clean that room before you
Now,
go.
Diva, you just told
but
us that
let me
Kimmy said Monster sit up in his room locked up all the time. So
A lot of
does
kids,
he even go out?
a lot of kids be in their room a lot, Royer. And you know what I do? I open the door, I go in the room, because it's my house. I open the door, I go in the room. What's up? You good? I love you. Come on, you're gonna watch this movie with me. And he carry on and get pissed off. But you know what? Psychiatrists will tell you kids really like discipline, even though they say they don't.
Yep.
Kids like you to be in their face and be like, "Come here, I love you. Come watch a movie with me, be with your mom, do whatever the case may be." All of that. I promise you, the kids love it. I don't care what
Especially
nobody.
boys.
They because
Boys will try to hide.
that's part. Because you know what? Because that's how they know you're connected and you care, whatever the case may be.
right,
You
but
love
let me say
that
this one thing, and then I'm gonna
question
hop off
that.
this topic. I'm this because we're saying that kids didn't do stuff the first time. My parents are still married, 41 years.
Mhm.
My mom and my dad raised three boys. I didn't have any sisters. My mom said something one time.
Yeah.
She looked at us
One
and we
time.
were scared for our lives.
Right.
Neither one of me or my brothers ever got a whooping in life because we had that much fear of our mom, and my dad backed her up. We were scared to death of her, and even to this day, I don't try that woman because she's crazy in the mind. And my dad backed her up. So we can't expect Kimmy to be a miracle worker when his own mama didn't do it.
You know what, Milan, you are right, but that was a different time period, right? That was
Oh my God.
No.
I'm being serious because my
You see
parents
how
was
the
like
world is
that
now,
too.
right? You
No,
see how
my
the world
parents were
is.
like that too. My mom was like that. My mom would give you a look like you better not act up. You better not cut a fool. You better get your life together. My mother told me when I graduated high school, because we moved from New York to Jersey and I was in all out protest. I was pissed. I was livid that we moved to Jersey. And I protested and I refused to work and I refused to go to school. And I would go every Friday to my dad's job and I would get my money for the week. And I thought I was going to be cute and do whatever. And my mother let me protest for a whole year. Test is over. She said, "I'll let you slide because you was all emotional about coming to Jersey." She said, "But it's over. It's a wrap." And so she said, because I didn't have a car, because in New York, you didn't need a car. In Jersey, you need a car, depending upon where you live. Ain't too many places in Jersey where you could be getting around without no car.
Mm-hmm.
My mother told me The bus leaves in an hour. If I was you, I would shower, get dressed, because you're going to go down to the county college and you're going to sign up for the county college. And then you're going to go to the mall. You got to get back on the bus and go to the mall and get yourself a job. She said, but if you don't do that, you won't be staying here no more. And I got my butt up at 18. And I got on that bus and I was still pissed. And I was telling my mother off all underneath my breath and all kinds of stuff. And my mother said, what you saying? I said, nothing. And I went out and I went to college. I signed up and I went and got a job. And here I am today. So I'm saying that, you know what? You need to be a parent and do what you got to do. But if you sign up to be a bonus parent, then the key word in that is you're still a parent. And I'm going to need you to be one. Now, y'all done held me down on this topic and we done missed out on other scenes. But I'm running close to time. I'm in the time here because y'all too much. Y'all stuck the train upside down and all the way around tonight.
The train is shaking.
The train is shaking. And
you're welcome for having your back, babe. I always will.
With this
Teacher's pet.
Thank you.
Pet.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Right.
Teacher's pet.
I'm always going to have you on this panel.
Justice always going to ride.
I'm not going to have your back when you talking foolish and just not sounding right. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I'm always going to have her back. I don't matter. I'm going to always have her back. So everybody, if it attacks her on the panel, they're going to get me frustrated.
Royale, respect your
y'all got me so hot right now.
I respect Auntie D, but I respect her 100%. But she wrong. She wrong. There's two left shoes. Wrong.
Y'all got me hot.
Two left shoes.
She's wrong as if her name is Maurice.
Listen, all right, okay. Listen, guys, we wrapping this thing up. I can't even go through the rest of these things because it's late. Y'all too much. And we're going to end this thing. And let's see if people got it finally. In my opinion, your final thoughts on this Maurice, Kiuwha, and Munster situation. In my opinion.
Yes, Eva.
Yes. What are your final thoughts?
I need all of them to go get some help.
Yes. Amen. That's it, and that's all. We'll drop the mic right there. All of them need help. All right, Juanita, what are your thoughts? Your final.
I would say the same as I said before. They need therapy, and Maurice need deep-rooted therapy.
Yes,
he needs one-on-one.
Yes, 101, 24/7. He needs to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning for boot camp and turn that
exactly
to his therapist.
And him trying to give Martell advice. Lord have mercy.
That part.
But you said the blind leading the stupider,
the blind leading the blind.
Right.
The blind leading the blind. Dr. Love, what are your final thoughts?
I just need Martell, what's his name? Maurice, to step up to the plate and become the head of his household and a husband, a real husband.
That part. Amen. Dustin, my best friend. The one who really cares about me. The one who hung out in the only car with me tonight. Who understood my plight. Dustin, what's your final word?
David. That's my final words. And I'll always be here for you. And
you sound like a robot.
Yeah, you sound. Dustin, I gotta cut you off because it sounds it's not good, your sound, but I know where you stand, Dustin. And Dustin, you're on my Christmas list. I see you.
Not your Christmas list.
Bribery.
Oh my God, I cannot with y'all. Carrie, what are your final thoughts? I cannot. I'm so hot right now.
Because of their son's age, I think what should have happened is the biological parents should get together and say what the limits, boundaries, rules, regulations, and the bonus parent has to fall in line with that. So I think that's what needs to happen. I don't. I think Kimmy just needs to be told, okay, this is how we want to raise our son, and then she gets in line with that. She seems to be the only one asking all the questions, doing all the talking,
Mm-hmm.
and
Trying to
not
She
be
needs
the
to
fair.
be
and
told.
no. Listen to me. Yeah,
Lord have
I
mercy.
Have a final
yes
word.
she needs to be. Yes, she does. Yes, she does need to be told about somebody else's child when the parents are still around. Like you don't just walk into somebody's life and arbitrarily do what you think this child needs to be done or raise them how you feel like they need to be raised. That's not how that works.
Well, then that
It
child
does.
don't need to be in that household
Well,
because she's the
it
woman of
doesn't.
that
Okay,
household.
okay, it doesn't
Bye.
work that way,
Let
in
her
my
finish.
opinion. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I don't know if you never been in a situation like that, or maybe your situation, if you have, it worked different from everybody else's. But in the grand scheme of this world that we live in, it doesn't work like that. It hardly ever works like that. The biological parents, when they split, they still have to be on the same page with how the child is going to be raised, whether the child is in the father's home or the mother's home, and the step parent has to get in line with that. Because right now everybody on a different page, everybody, and the child is suffering because of that. So yes.
They ain't on a different page. They in a different book.
Hold on. Yeah, they are in a different book. All right. Hold on. In my opinion, Manuel, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are this: Maurice and Kiuwha, they created this child. They brought him
Yeah.
into the world. So it is their responsibility to give him tools and to teach him by example and put him in the right path. Kimmi, as a stepmother, has no obligation to have to carry the whole load and do it for them because they are both
That's right.
capable and they are his parents. And you can never ever ever compare the relationship you have with a biological mother to a stepmother. There are boundaries that she doesn't want to cross. And people who have children, I don't have children, but I can't bet anything that you guys would not like if another woman was talking, being reprimanding your kids. You would have a problem with that. So I'm not saying Kimmy's perfect. I'm not saying that, but the responsibility lies on the birth parents, but mainly on Maurice. He needs to step up, be the man of the house, be a good husband, and be a good father.
Just out of curiosity, should Kiuwha co-parent via FaceTime or Zoom
Yeah.
or
If she
Microsoft?
has to, whatever she has to do, if she has to, I don't know what they have to do, but she's the mother, so she needs to figure it out because that's
Oh,
her son. That's yeah.
okay. Thank you, Emmanuel. Roy, yeah, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are as follows. Um, it's just so funny to me that we're sitting here pretending like Kiowa just loved Kimmi and was giving Kimmi the easiest time. You know, if you was giving Kimmi a hard time, I can only imagine what you were saying to this child about Kimmi once Maurice married her. Now let's not sit up here and play like parents don't talk bad about the kids, because she was definitely talking bad about Kimmi. So if she would do it in general, what would stop her from doing it with the child? So, in my opinion, I feel like the child came into the house with preconceived notions about Kimmi, and Kimmi has done her best. And I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that. She has done her best because when Tiffany was talking about Maurice Jr. and the vape situation, who was there to stand up for Monster? I didn't see Kiowa coming through the camera until later on. But why you wasn't there when it all went down? Kimmi's cooking dinner. Prior to Maurice just now doing this boot camp, she was dropping and picking up Maurice Jr. from school, because all of these things have been given to us over the past seasons. So if you don't remember, you may need to go back and check your own records and watch the show, because I remember clearly. So I think tonight was a very mishap. I feel like we let Maurice and Kiowa just fly off the handle, and we put all the brunt on Kimmi as if it's all Kimmi's fault. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. But I think that tonight was a great episode. I enjoyed everybody's opinion. I'm not for real mad at nobody. Y'all know I'm dramatic. I just like to be dramatic and extra. And I had to get Auntie Viva together because I told her earlier, I'm gonna have to get you together, Auntie. Because you
We
was
love you,
wrong as two
Royale.
left
We
shoes.
love you, Royale.
Y'all
Not with
was
the
wrong. I love y'all too. I love y'all to death do us part. I really, really do. But to sit here and play like Kimmy was just oh so bad. Yeah, you play that same violin. Go ahead, because that's for you. She playing that for herself, y'all. Because she knows she didn't win tonight. But it was just it was really sad that Kimmy has to bear all the brunt of a child that's not even coming out of her coochie, and she's doing the best she can as a recovering cancer patient.
Robin.
Auntie Robin.
Royale, what you said? That's all I got to say about that.
Lord Jesus. Well, I'd like to start out by saying that as I started this evening with my remarks, I'm going to end my remarks. I'm saying that Maurice is the absolute worst. He is a horrible father, parent, husband. He is not a leader. He is a faux dictator. He is selfish and he is self-centered. Like Michelle, my good sis GM said, this is about the kid. Now I didn't put anything on Kimmy. Except for I do think that she like rides the fence for real. Steve, don't put that up when I'm talking. But the bottom line is we know that the beginnings of the relationship between Maurice and Kimmi and with Kiuwha in the mix, it's always been messy. That Kiuwha's always thought that they had something going before they were divorced, and that ain't never gonna go away. I don't care how many talks or dinners or lunches they have. But based on what I saw on Saturday night, I vote for Kiuwha taking her child back because no matter what level of dysfunction might have occurred, where she may have talked badly about Kimmi, when we saw those three adults in the room with that young teen, the one thing that for me, I only saw his mother honestly, truly emoting. It's what he needs. She supported him. She listened to him. Because listen, one thing we missed is when Kimmi said, your birthday's coming up. What do you want? He said a gift. And instead of saying, well, what kind of gift do you want? Do you want a PS12? Do you want some Nike 2 millions? She was like, well, what about your driver's license?
Come on now. Come on, Robin.
Talk. Ain't none of them listening to him. They're talking to him, not to him. They're talking at him. Yes. And they are placing expectations on him, telling them, projecting on him what they think that he should want for himself and what they want for him. So he is so unheard in that space. That's why he don't talk to nobody.
Come on, Robin. Amen.
He do better talking to himself.
That's why he said he talks to himself. Come on, Robin. Nice way.
Did not Kimmi ask him for his opinion? Didn't Kimmi ask him for his input and opinion when they were having the meeting? Did she not?
About what he's not doing right.
Okay, can we have a larger conversation? Not tonight, but I keep hearing a few people say she need to take her son back with her. That is so problematic to me. That
okay, we should. And
like I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay, because I was interrupted. Go ahead.
Interrupted by who?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. That is so problematic to me, as if he's being abused in some way, and as if Kiuwha didn't agree that he go with his dad that she chose to have a child with, and what would that solve? She need to take her son back with her, as if that is problematic when I hear people talk like that. And that's we can have a conversation about that on another day.
I said it was because, based on what we have seen, based on what we see, there is nothing nurturing in that environment. Somebody needs to take control. He is at such a vulnerable point in his life emotionally for his own emotional survival, he needs to be at least somewhere where we know there's somebody who's going to at least hug him. I'm not saying to absolve his father of the
No, that's not what I'm. But
responsibility.
just the fact that you said it is
Okay, so hold on,
problematic.
And I
guys.
stand
Hold
10
on, wait,
toes
okay,
down
hold on.
on it. I'm not backing down. He needs to go
Guys.
home with his
Time
brother
out,
because his
guys.
father ain't nothing.
Time out. Because it's 9 minutes after. I'm running over. But let me just say this really quickly. We saw the light in Munster when his mother came to that door and the way he hugged her. We saw the light in Munster. If y'all go back and just look at just that scene when she was sitting across from him and the way she just smiled at him and let him know, listen, I'm going to be here for you in this conversation. Go back and look at that scene. When they showed the preview for next week, you saw the light in Munster when she said, do you want me to come around more? Do you want me to be here more? And he said, do whatever you can. So I think, because I even said it too, that he needs to, maybe what he needs to be is with his mother, but not in a bad way, but in a way that this kid needs something more that he's not getting. And that anybody in this world will tell you, your kids want time more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
They want time. At the end of the day, they love the sneakers, they love the gifts, they love all that. But what they're going to remember is time. Time you spent in the kitchen, maybe showing them how to make something. Time you spent on vacation. Time you spent in the park. Time you spent whatever. They're going to remember time. They're going to remember the hugs. They're going to remember the love. And you can just tell. And I'm not saying this because I think, Kimmi and Maurice are doing something so terrible, because I don't. But you could just tell that him and his mama is there. And it was so heartfelt that I saw it and felt it through the screen. So this is about, where will this kid thrive at the most? And it just appears at this moment, from what we're seeing, he's going to thrive with mama and off of that TV screen. And I think that's a point blank in a period. He's not thriving on that screen. And I'm telling you, I've seen defiant kids. Okay, Jamie, and I'm not saying he's so defiant, but from Love and Marriage, what is that darn show that they're on? Love and Marriage DC. You see Jamie, he gave the business to his father on that TV. His father gave him the business and he gave the business right on back. But you see Munster, he really didn't say his dad was like that face. And he just sat there like, what is my face supposed to look like? He never raised his voice. He never got crazy. He never did all of that. All I'm saying is, for sure, at the very least, you saw the love between him and his mom. He said, gift. Kimmy's that distracted, like Robin said, didn't even hear him. She talking about, well, what about your license? Because you know why? If he get his license, his father don't have to drive himself to school. Driving to school, he could drive himself. Listen, I saw right through her. I know y'all not feeling me. But it is what it is, and we're going to have this bigger conversation just about maybe bonus parents, step parents in general outside of them on a whole nother day. Because we're going to get out the boxing gloves. Because I'm going to stand every round. Hold on, Emmanuel. I'm going to stand every round until y'all get what I'm saying, so that we don't put these messed up kids out in the world. Emmanuel, 2 seconds. I got to go.
Yeah, I know we're out of time. So let me just say this. If Kimmi, Maurice, and Kiuwha are listening, please stop calling your kid a monster. I like the nickname that Dadong said, King, because if you go to dictionary.com, the definition of monster, it's a noun. 1, a non-human creature so ugly or so monstrous as to frighten people. And then 2, any creature grotesquely deviating from the normal shape, behavior, or character.
Thank you.
I don't like it, and I don't like it. I think we all disagree. So yes, with that nickname, it's horrible. It is horrible, and anybody will tell you it's all in the name.
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky he's not living up to a monster. Like he's not. To me, he's literally being a typical teen right now, and it's not nothing that you can't recover and break. And I need them to, for once, get on that TV and say Monster, job well done. I'm saying Monster, y'all, not just because I'm used to hearing that, but y'all understand what I mean. I need them to get up there and say job well done. Every time they have a scene with this young man, they're talking about what he did wrong.
Negative, everything negative.
Even at jobs, they tell you if you have to discipline somebody, first give them some good stuff, right, and then slide into the rest. Where's the good with him? We don't get to hear it, see it, or nothing. Good night, guys. I got to go. I love y'all.
It's been
next
real.
time.
It's been
real. It's been heavy. Yeah. The train rocked. The train shake. It was off the track. But again, Dustin.
Justice for Monster.
You were on the car with Diva, and I love you. Boy,
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Good night.